Dear students, good evening. Welcome to Law Excellence IAS. Let us start the discussion on today's newspaper, that is 23rd January 2021. The first article for discussion is A Pig Between Dark Politics or Collective Resistance. Here, the author tries to refer dark politics as politics which believe in illiberalism, majoritarianism, etc. And collective resistance, it means a resistance to change the existing status quo. If we observe democracy, it appears to be in danger. Across the world history, we have many examples how people's will slowly transformed itself into a totalitarianism. The classic of this is the rise of Nazism and fascism in Europe. In this scenario, any kind of tendency that undermines the democracy need to be watched carefully and people shall stand against it. Any kind of this change, it starts with populism, then transforms into majoritarianism, slowly ends up as totalitarianism. So any tendency towards populism and mobocracy, it need to be removed or controlled in its bud itself. In this scenario, there is a book called Against Democracy. It was written by Jason Brennan. What he stated is there are three kinds of the people who are politically motivated. One kind of people, they don't want to change, so they resist change. So they believe in religion and they have strong beliefs, strong likes and dislikes. There are few people who are non-conformists. They don't have any political ideology. And rational beings are only few. And most of the people in the society, they believe in irrational things. Now, when these people are going to come to the central stage, then there is a good chance that democracy becomes mobocracy. In this scenario, these rational beings has to stand and change the existing situation. And here, remember one point, the alternative to status quo or alternative to change is only status quo, and the status quo today is drifting towards political violence. It need to be remembered that the people shall matter more than the power of the state. If power of the state is undermining the collective will of the people, then there is a greater threat to the democracy in a particular country. So these are the points we need to talk. A new framework around caste and the census. Why we need census? It helps us to know what we are, what patterns of livelihoods we have, how education levels, developmental levels across various communities are. In this case, caste is an important factor in Indian society. So caste identities, are they strengthening or weakening is a big question for debate. How to understand this caste phenomenon, how it is related to economic opportunities or social empowerment, how shall we understand this? That's where people propose for caste census. In 1931, caste census were taken, and later in 2011, socio-economic caste census are taken. They are not completely released. What is the concern over here? The caste census can consolidate the caste in India, and obviously they are politically sensitive too. This data can also be misused by the political parties. Can I give you an example over here? It goes like this. If a census, decennial census which the government is taking, it has legal protection. As per the Census Act of 1948, this data shall not be revealed outside, and only broad generalizations can be made out of this data. But socio-economic caste census, it can be used for identification of beneficiaries. It means that government can use that particular data. So political party in power can misuse the data to its benefit. That is the concern expressed over there. And next is, can caste census explain about the caste position in society today? It is also doubtful for the reason all the castes that are existing in India are not being noted down. They are artificially grouped into scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, other backward classes, etc. There are many subcastes. So the caste architecture of India is very complex. There are many jatis, subjatis, etc. Added to that, the census itself has certain issues. The time lag exists between the collection of census data and using it for planning. And all the census data is also not released in time. So a census data is not only useful for governance, it is also useful for academic work. So including the academicians while census is made is very important. These are the take home points. Next is helpful pause. This is about farm laws. You know, the agitations are still going on. Farmers are fixated on their two demands, that is MSP, legalization of that, and the next is repeal of the all farm laws. So there is a maximalist position on from both government side and also farmer side. Today, this particular pause of 18 months offered by the government is going to make or help build trust between the farmers and the government. So farmers can give something and can take something. Both the parties can move away from their maximalist position, and this particular move of the government shall be applauded. On the other side, Supreme Court, which is uninvited into this controversy, which is purely a political and executive matter, has intervened in. So Supreme Court shall go back, reside back, and allow for the political process to come forward. And finally, there is an important point to remember. In any negotiation or any discussion, both the sides shall have relaxations or flexibility. Without that, what happens is the consultations comes to a stalemate that need to be understood. Fire warning. In the Serum Institute of India, we have seen a fire warning or fire has led to loss of valuable life and property. Today, Serum Institute of India is of global significance for the reason that it is producing Covishield, and many countries in South Asia, in Africa are looking for vaccines from this particular institution. So that's why zero tolerance for any dilution of the safety norms has to exist. So not only in Serum Institute, any pharmaceutical company, safety has to be given the first priority in lines with defense space establishments. That is what stated here. No further concessions to offer, government tells protesting farmers. Now the thing is getting tightened between the government and farmers. Government gave 18 months halt to these farm laws. But is it legally valid is the question. A particular law which is passed by the parliament, can central government has a power to halt that particular law is doubt over here. And in this case, farmers are also sticking to their own standpoint that all these laws have to be repealed. MSPs have to get legal backing. Delay in releasing vaccines is understandable. So India is sending vaccines to Brazil. In this context, Brazil and India are part of BRICS, and there is some heartburn in Brazil that India did not release the vaccines in time. In this case, Brazil ambassador says that India's concerns can be understood, and India and Brazil have to make their relations defined by the contemporary approach or approach which is changing on the global scenario. Finally, impeachment of Trump. How the Trump may get impeached? First is House of Representatives has to pass or initiate motion. It has to be passed with simple majority. And after that, the Speaker has to appoint impeachment managers, and then motion goes to Senate, and the Senate has to pass that with 2/3 majority, and the Senate is the one which conducts the trial. During this trial, Mr. Trump can defend himself through his lawyers, and once it is passed by the Senate, the Trump stands impeached. Today, if you take in Senate, 50 members belongs to the Democrats, 50 belongs to the Republicans. It means 17 members from the Republican side has to vote in support of the impeachment. Let us wait and see this. This is Dr. Rambabu signing off for Law Excellence IAS. Thank you very much.